Okay, everybody, here we go. It's me. I shouldn't be even laughing or smiling right now, but okay, look, man, we got a lot of stuff to cover. Glad to be here with all of you Thursday, February 27th, 2025. Before I start with the economic news that we got today, I want to say this. 99% of this, maybe 98, has absolutely nothing to do with President Trump right here. This is fallout that we've been seeing here throughout the entire administration of, I'm going to be nice, President Biden, a massively destructive force for the economy. It can't be stopped. What's happening? I've been telling you guys and girls this, that it won't stop and it can't be stopped. There's nothing right now, zero being put forth now from President Trump's administration here that can put a roadblock in front of what is unfolding, unless very dramatic steps were taken. And I mean, this whole issue with the federal jobs here isn't going to do nothing, zero in the grand scheme of things. It's an interesting concept, not going to help. We got to attack the root cause of the problem. Without attacking the root cause of the problem, everything is going to get monumentally worse from here. The global economy, including obviously the United States, is going to suffer to a greater degree moving forward. People are going to suffer to a greater degree moving forward. We must attack the root cause of the problem. Nothing, no one's doing this. No presidential action, no executive order right now has even done a thing, nothing to address the root cause of the problem, which is, of course, what? What am I going to tell you? Currency, purchasing power, destruction. This is going to accelerate faster. And the main issue here is without action here, immediate. I told you this recently, several times. Immediate, not tomorrow, not next week, not even it has to be done now to prevent an inflationary nightmare. It's coming at us faster, and it's a tsunami. It's accelerating, and it's growing, and it's going to slam into, well, everywhere around the world here. It's astonishing to me that there is not one world leader today addressing the root cause of the problem. Think about what I'm saying here. And there's a reason behind it, and I'm going to explain it to you. The same dynamic in play, which has been boosting the stock market to record high. We'll talk about the market in a second, is the same dynamic in play, which is destroying the middle class and is a wrecking machine for the economy. So who's winning here? Well, it's obviously been the stock market. Who owns most of the stock market? Who owns 90% of the stock market? The 1% and 2%ers, of course. And that wealth has to get sucked out of someone. And now someone is you. Period. The end. Anyway, look, so I'm going to go over the economic news with you here. I'll talk about the markets too. Let's start off with the markets real quick. If we got this slew of information here that you're not going to believe how abysmal it. I know you will. If you follow this blog, you knew what I'm going to tell you. You're going to laugh at everything we got today. Not one thing was good. All worse than the next one. Now, with that, no surprise to you if you follow this blog, because I've been telling you, it's not going to stop. And it's not going to stop. After we get this information, we get through it, I want you to keep in mind that the market was higher. The Dow was higher by several hundred points. The NASDAQ was higher. No, I'm sorry. The NASDAQ was the only loser. The Dow was higher. The S&P 500 was higher. And then throughout the day, this happened. So the initial response to the bad news, which is abysmal, was a higher market. And this is where we finished. Why? What happened to drive the major stock market indices lower? Well, it turns out that Canada and the European Union right now, after some information that we got today, is not going to sit back and do nothing. So retaliatory strikes are already in play with regard to tariffs. You have to understand what we're seeing here. This is economic warfare. And in economic warfare, as in any war, there are casualties. Look in the mirror if you want to find out who the casualty is going to be. It's going to be you. What I would really like to see is these world leaders shoved into a room somewhere and figure out how they can make it work without this war. It's a war. Okay, we all knew more war was coming. Okay, this is war. Just because brains aren't getting splattered, people are suffering, and some people are going to die, in case you don't know. Okay, economic warfare is war. Wars were going to end. We were going to end war with President Trump now. We've now just entered a new war, or maybe a new type of war that some of you may not even consider war, but it's war. Okay, period. And you and me are the casualties here. And it doesn't appear that this is going to stop anytime soon. So again, if you were here with me when I put together that list for you of where this is going to go with regard to supply chain disruptions and the availability of basic things, you better get on that. I'm telling you, people, this is not playing out in a very nice way. So, stock market down pretty much across the board. This is where we ended up with cryptocurrencies. Okay, lovely. Gold and silver got hit pretty good. Crude oil getting a bit higher. All right, now let's cover the economic news. Again, what I'm going to show you right now, this has nothing to do, zero, with President Trump. So this is obviously fallout. And there's a lag effect here, man. People, look, man, politicians can never tell you the truth. All they know is to deflect, deceive, lie, and whatever they got to do, and blame. All right. And unfortunately, the issue, I can't, what bothers me, sincerely, is politics, especially President Trump. He's very aware. At least I would believe he is. He's a Wharton Business School graduate. He knows what I know. He knows what you know with regard to finance and economics. Okay. He realized that he should know that there's a massive lag effect with regard to how inflation manifests itself. And the polar opposite is true too. In other words, with action, if it's not taken immediately, you and I are going to bear the brunt of the tsunami coming at us, and we can't stop it because nothing's being put in it to stop it. Anyway, pending home sales dropped to the lowest level on record. This is because people are suffering. We're being systematically wiped out. This is an extinction level event. I've been telling you this for I don't know how freaking long. Are you starting to see what I'm talking about here? This cannot be stopped either unless the currency starts to gain purchasing power. And right now, all you're going to see, for as far as you want to look, is a much more dramatic loss in purchasing power. Hold that thought because we got to talk a little bit more. So that's one thing here. Lowest level on record. Here. Weekly jobless claims jump, coming in higher than expected in latest sign of economic softening. You like that word, softening? Make it up. Again, jobless claims, a 3-month high as Trump White House readies more federal job cuts. I already told you there's going to be a ripple effect to the entire economy. It's going to hit you too. If you're in the private sector, your job is not safe. Here we go again. Jobless claims may have just fired the clearest recession warning yet. Well, according to AI, which we covered this morning, and we're going to talk more about this in a moment. First of all, look, man, we're in a severe recession already. And this severe recession is going to turn into a depression. For some, it's already started. Here's an interesting one for you. U.S. GDP grew at 2.3%. We're not growing anything. We're growing nowhere, just in case you were maybe aware of it. But take their own numbers here. Apparently, the inflation rate is 3%. So we're contracting. Just that alone, obviously. You can't make this stuff up if you try to. Here's another one. said would happen, I don't know, 5 years ago, maybe. I said that we see more people try to maintain the illusion of a middle class existence by borrowing and borrowing and borrowing. Well, Americans are piling on debt at a furious pace. They are piling on debt at a furious pace. American collective credit card debt stands at 1.2 trillion, a more than 7% increase from the same point year after year over year. This is not going to stop. Neither are debt defaults across the board. That means the financial system, as we all know, if you've been with me for any length of time, is a disaster area on a massive scale. But I'm going to tell you what's going to happen here. You're going to bail it out again. Yes, you are going to bail it out again. Mark my words on this, people. And you know it's true what I'm saying. You know why? Because people know the truth when they hear it. Here's another one for you. U.S. consumer inflation increases at its fastest pace in nearly 1.5 years. This is not, again, President Trump's fault. Although, hold on a minute now. Obama, Trump, Biden, what did they do? What happened to the U.S. national debt with these three? Okay. It doubled. Take every president before Obama, going back to George Washington, these three presidents doubled it all. Okay. So in some kind of way, I guess, they're all responsible for it. And we let it happen as well. So I guess we're responsible for it too. So people you have to understand, never act in their best interest, in their own best interest. It's an interesting phenomenon, but it's kind of I don't know what it is, but it's an interesting phenomenon here. But the fact of the matter is, look, man, as I said, the blame game, you're going to hear more of that. Again, I would imagine that everything that's going to happen, even when we start a month from now, we're going to start seeing the effect more so with regard to President Trump's economic policy. We all know who really runs the economy by running the monetary system, the financial system, the central banks. But obviously, tariffs and the like, and no one taking any action here to give the currency any purchasing power back. Well, you can see how this is going to play out. Now, I want to bring this to your attention. I have been saying for quite a while, bring back all the manufacturing jobs that exist around the world to the United States. It's not going to make any difference. A couple of people said, hey, Greg, well, you're wrong. Some companies are actually bringing back manufacturing jobs here to the United States. And one that was brought up to me was Apple. So I never said that Apple wasn't going to do this. But again, I took a little heat for it. So I wanted to just say, you know what? I want people to call me out. I want people to say, Greg, because we're stronger together. I've been telling you this a million times. So I put this out to all of you, and I will cover what's happening and what's going on. So I wrote lines, I stand corrected. I said, regarding manufacturing, Apple has committed. They've committed, okay? This isn't being done yet. This is out in the future, 2026, in a deal, a $500 billion, nice chunk of change, $1 billion deal with President Trump to hire 20,000 people in the United States over the next 4 years. So 5,000 people, which is, I guess it's kind of a joke, a year for the next 4 years. Now, Apple plans to open a factory in Texas to make machines that power the company's push towards artificial intelligence. And this is supposed to begin in 2026. All right. There are a few companies. As a matter of fact, I asked our friend AI about this. Here's the question I asked, and here's the answer. And I'm going to show you a few things that are going to blow your freaking mind. So I wrote, this is the AI, Greg Mannarino. Can you name specifically which companies or corporations are planning to relocate manufacturing here in the United States? Yes, several companies are planning on relocating to the United States. Eli Lilly, this pharmaceutical giant, is planning to invest $27 billion in 4 new pharmaceutical plants. We really need pharmaceuticals, right? And they're claiming that this is going to create 3,000 jobs. Apple, of course, I just went over. They're saying they will create 20,000 jobs. Now, additionally, there's another company called Superior Glove, which will be opening a manufacturing facility in North Carolina. And this other one, I can't even name it. I'm going to screw this up. It's here. I'll show it to you. this company right there, this company. So it's just a couple. You can literally hold them in your hand. So again, understanding that the economy here in the United States, we haven't seen anything yet with how bad this is going to be. This is, mushroom cloud economy, and it's all over the world right now. Crypto wave, thank you. If you were the CEO of a corporation here, and you realize what was going on, other than maybe a tax break or something along those lines here, would you really be looking to relocate your business to a nation that is in economic free fall? The rest of the world is in economic free fall as well, along with us. I think more than likely what's going to end up happening here is more than likely companies are going to stay put. I'm not saying that this is for all of them across the board. We do have 4 companies here. 1, 2, 4. Okay, so I guess stand corrected here. 4 companies are planning on relocating here, and I mean this is in the future, not right now. So we'll see where this actually goes. Now, interesting, a couple of things here with regard to artificial intelligence. I asked this thing a couple of questions, and some of it is not too good. I think you guys are gonna not like it. So I wrote, I asked this question, will more companies moving forward be investing in artificial intelligence? Yes. Many companies are increasing their investments in AI. 94% of businesses are investing more in artificial intelligence, according to artificial intelligence. Additionally, nearly half of technology leaders have fully integrated already AI into their company's core business strategies. This trend indicates a significant shift toward AI adoption across industries. That is kind of interesting. Now, let us move forward. I asked this question: will artificial intelligence be taking jobs from human beings? Yes, straight out. AI will replace jobs, especially those involving data processing and consumer services. The impact will, of course, vary by industry. My next question: overall, will the movement into artificial intelligence help or hurt the middle class? This is what AI had to say. AI's impact on the middle class will be mixed. It will likely displace some middle class jobs, particularly in administrative, manufacturing, and consumer services roles. However, AI could boost productivity and wages in some sectors, but without support, it could widen economic inequality. This freaking thing is a little freaky, man. I'm sitting there talking to this thing, and you can literally talk to it as if it's a person. It's really out there. Now, Raiden, thank you. I appreciate that. Here's a couple of other interesting little factoids which is going to affect all of us. It's kind of interesting. So I wrote, is it possible that artificial intelligence could be potentially harmful for the human race? Listen to this question again. The answer is not what you want to hear. Is it possible that artificial intelligence could be potentially harmful to the human race? Yes. AI has the potential to be harmful if not properly controlled. Risks include job displacement, privacy concerns, misinformation, and even autonomous weapons. There are also concerns about AI decision-making in critical areas like healthcare and finance. Here's my last one. My question: what are, after that one, the possible unintended consequences of the development of artificial intelligence in the future? It outlined eight bullet points. Number 1, job displacement. AI could automate many jobs, leading to unemployment in sectors like manufacturing, customer service, logistics. This could widen the economic gap if workers aren't retained for new roles. Number 2, bias and discrimination. This is an interesting one. AI systems trained on biased data could perpetuate or even amplify existing social biases in areas like hiring, lending, and law enforcement. Okay. I thought that was kind of interesting. Privacy invasion. This is almost a no-brainer. AI technologies that rely on vast amounts of personal data could lead to privacy violations, surveillance, and misuse of sensitive information. All that is going to happen. This is frightening. Number four. Number four. Listen to this one. Autonomous weapons. This is a hard one to even swallow. If AI is used in military applications, there is the risk of autonomous weapons making life or death decisions on their own without human intervention. Loss of human control. 5. This is all from AI, man, right out of its own freaking head. Loss of human control. As AI becomes more advanced, there is concern that humans might lose control over AI systems, leading to outcomes that don't align with human values or intentions. This is straight out of AI's freaking mouth, okay? Security threats. I mean, this is crazy. We're almost done. AI could be used for malicious purposes, such as cyber attacks, deepfake creation, and misinformation campaigns. Economic inequality. This is a no-brainer. If AI benefits only a small segment of society, such as large tech companies, it could exacerbate wealth inequality, leaving many without access to the benefits. Last one. Dependence on AI. Over-reliance on AI systems could reduce human skills and critical thinking. In other words, make us so stupid. Unless you get brain chipped, of course, leaving society vulnerable to those systems if they fail or make incorrect decisions. I think this is pretty interesting, honestly, and I do want to hear from all of you. Let me tell you what all this actually comes down to. Really, I've been saying this for quite a while now. We are witnessing what may be the beginning of a transhuman state of affairs where I mean in the literal sense here, because there are obviously with Neuralink, some of the stuff in Neuralink, if you look into it, or even if you ask AI about it, can, and I'm just going to say this, and I know I'm going to take a lot of heat. All right, can benefit some. Let me give you an example of that, okay, and why I say that. Most of you know that I was a healthcare provider for 20 years. When I was a student, when I was a medical student, I had to do a rotation in a vent unit, people that are ventilator dependent. And a couple of things stick in my head till this day, and this is a long time ago. There was a patient there. She was maybe 16 or 17. She was an athletic, a swimmer. She wanted to swim, in the Olympics and all that kind of stuff. Some kind of a freak accident happened, and she suffered a traumatic brain injury. This injury left her unable to speak and unable to move. The most heartbreaking thing about this was she was able to cry. She cried morning, noon, and night. And I remember sitting there with her, and sorry, she I would talk to her, and she couldn't answer, but she would cry, and I would sit there and talk to her, and she couldn't respond, but she would cry. I would hold her hand, and she couldn't feel it, but she would cry. At least I don't know if she could feel it. There's something there I could see someone benefiting from that. But I believe that the issue is people are going to want this to make themselves superior, a higher level of understanding, almost superhuman godlike figures possibly can be created. So be used for good in a case like I just said, or it could be used very, very wickedly for evil. There's just no doubt about it. And I think that most of us would have to agree. Anyway, look, man, let me get back on track with this whole thing. People, I want to be optimistic and I want to see a bright future. Unfortunately, if we do not address the root cause of the problem here, there's no way that we can sidestep a mushroom cloud, a global economy, and an absolute destruction, an extinction level event with regard to the middle class here. It's an incredible thing, really. Look, I've been telling you guys and girls that we are moving very rapidly towards neo-feudalism. Okay, and I see this manifesting itself in many, many ways. This gold card thing. This is not a new thing that President Trump came up with. It's the most expensive way to buy your way into citizenship. Now, I did a little more research into this. There's a big tax benefit for the super rich who want to buy their way into the United States citizenship. And again, I see this as a way to accelerate the two-tier society that I've been warning about is coming for 10 years, unfortunately. Of course, who wouldn't take, look this up for yourselves. Please don't take my word for what I'm saying here. It's not too hard to just, go ask AI if you don't believe Greg Mannarino, just ask it. It'll answer you. But there's a very good perk in there for super wealthy people to take President Trump up on his, opportunity to buy citizenship here in the United States for $5 million. And there's many, many extremely wealthy people that can afford this. If $5 million is dropping in the bucket. So it's kind of interesting. Go look into the tax perks that are being associated with this. I mean, President Trump is making this very lucrative for the super rich to come in here. And I've been telling him, there's the overlords and there's going to be us down here. The middle class is being replaced everywhere. But here in the United States, I don't like it. I really don't like it. I don't even like how it's being sold to the people. We're going to pay off the debt with this. I don't think we're paying off anything, people. We're going to see debt and deficits blow up moving forward. So, well, if I'm wrong on this, believe me, I'll call myself out. But I don't believe this is going to happen moving forward. And I think that you and I are pretty much on the same page with all this. At least I hope so anyway. Anyway, look, man, we'll see where this all goes. So anyway, we covered a lot of stuff here, people, with regard to the economic news. It really could not be any worse. But I don't think this is really a surprise to a single one of you that follows this blog. You knew this. Look, man, I don't have any brain chip. No one needs a brain chip, okay? I don't think there's a way on this earth I would ever submit to something like that. But for some, like the patient I was telling you about, a young girl like that, oh man, it's just the most heartbreaking thing. And that's a story. It's pretty common, honestly. These tragic things that happen to people. Yeah, I get it. I get that. And I see that 7% of you who are taking my poll said there is a circumstance where you would be brain chipped, and I would imagine that's one of them, honestly. But to gain this, the issue is this. What's going to end up happening is, let's say big business, the uber wealthy or whatever it might be, the super wealthy, if they could gain an edge by becoming some kind of a superior being via a mechanism of being brain chipped, they're going to do it. And I can't imagine that's going to play out very well for those that are not brain chipped. So we do need to consider this, honestly. Hey, Jonathan, thank you. It is falling apart, man, and we're taking action. Jonathan's right here. It's coming apart. It's coming apart faster. We all knew this. It's not going to stop unless action is taken against it. And the action needs to be taken now. We must return purchasing power to the currency. Central banks, as you all know, they're the enemy of humanity. They are the enemy of humanity. They are ruling us all. We're forced to participate in their system. Without removing these institutions here, every single one of them, we will lose. And there's nothing right now being put in the way. Audits and this and that, it's not going to stop. The Federal Reserve, and I will call myself out on this, last time when President Trump was president, everyone believed the Fed was going away. Greg, you are wrong. I came out publicly, look at all my videos. Ain't going nowhere. I said the Fed's going to be stronger at the end. Not only was the Fed stronger, but the Federal Reserve was revolted to the pinnacle of power because no other president in U.S. history allowed the Fed to inflate more so than President Trump did. We're going to get the same thing here. There's just nothing standing in the way of that right now. And if it changes, I will let you know. Believe me, I will. I want the people to prosper. The regular guy, the regular girl. Doesn't seem like that's what's happening here, unfortunately. This guy, again, loves you from the heart, people. Listen, the long video. If I have earned your thumbs up, and only if I have earned your thumbs up, I would appreciate that. Let's do something with that. Show Coco. I'll bring Coco out. I promise I will at one point. This is kind of his eating, walking time. But anyway, please comment. Let me know what you guys and girls think about all this stuff here. As usual, people, we'll reconvene tomorrow morning. And I want to thank you for being here, for supporting my work. All right. We got each other's backs always. And I can't imagine how we can lose. I really, really mean that. Right, Alan? Right, ES? All my friends here. I love you guys and girls with all I got. And that's pretty much all I got to say. All right. I will see you in the morning. That's kind of it. All right. That's all.